Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Saiful Akmal bin Mudayat and I'm going to present our assignment which is analysis of Turkey country. For the introduction, Turkey country, officially the Republic of Turkey, is a transcontinental country located mainly on the peninsula of Anatolia in West Asia, with a smaller portion of the Balkans Peninsula in Southeast Europe. Turkey is a charter member of the UN, an early member of NATO, the IMF, and the World Bank, and a founding member of OECD, OSCE, BSEC, OIC, and G20. The automotive industry in Turkey is quite large, producing more than 1.3 million motor vehicles in 2015, ranking as the 14th largest manufacturer in the world. Other major sectors of the Turkish economy are banking, construction, household appliance, electronics, textiles, oil refining, petrochemical products, food, mining, iron and steel, and the machinery industry.
Hi, this is the presentation slide from the student Cho Kuakiet, matrix number 171240178 from class 22B International Business, which going to present about his export and import international management assignment videos. So the part I'm going to talk about is the challenge of communication and the solution to deal with it. So the possibly challenge that will happen while making international business in Turkey that the country will target is language barrier. So what is it about? So language barrier generally is a gate that cut among parties to reach agreement to make a business, which means no relationship, then no business. So I'm going to talk about it from two perspectives, which is nonverbal and verbal. First is nonverbal. So based on this, I'm going to talk about certain culture that usually that can used or that people used to be like that in Turkey. So first, they greet with shake hand and cheek cakes. So a lot of people might be couldn't accept this kind of action that among maybe two people with different gender because of the politeness or maybe they think it's not appropriate. But this is a local how they greet each other in Turkey. And next is cross arm. So a lot of people like having a meeting in the meeting room. Usually they will cross the arm or listen to the others, but actually in Turkish people's mindset is an appropriation and is shown unrespectful to the others who present. And next, they always want to like having eyes to eye, face to face conversation in order to like reach a respect to the others. Next, verbal. So actually the difference of nonverbal and verbal is nonverbal is from the action that from people body's language or maybe eyes contact or maybe face emotion expression. But for the verbal part is what we say or we speak. So I will talk about this from the manual because a lot of people while conducting a business, they don't really like go through the local culture or geography or natural resource what they have. So it causing the conversation they had is like having an inappropriate information and causing a misunderstanding and unrespect to the others and the local. Although you have conducted a market research, but still maybe not enough if you didn't really go through deeply about the local geography, factors, natural resource, and you cause extra cost for your business. So what is the solution? So you're gonna having the basic knowledge about Turkish, maybe foreign language training. This is to smoothen the process of while dealing with the local. And next, get the correct and detailed information. So this is ensure that not any question unanswered or detail not being explained, which means a lot of people will have to be signed while making an international business. But maybe for both parties, they can use the common language, maybe English. But as we can know, actually Turkish people not really good in English, most of them. So in order to prevent the unnecessary things happen, we have to ensure that not any question unanswered or detail not being explained. And lastly, task manager responsibilities. Task manager is the one who like make sure all the things is on the rail and is go for the smoothly. So he have to ensure all the things didn't go wrong, and because of the complex business, it result misunderstanding. So it's vital for the task manager to ensure all the things is going on the right path. So basically, this all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Fu Yin. My matrix number is 171240200. I want to present BFT 344 Export-Import Management Group Assignment 2. Our group chose Turkey as the country to discuss. So, Turkey's export-import challenge have what? Regulatory issue is the one I and discuss. So, what is regulatory definition? Regulation is the management of complex according to a set of rules and trends. In business, industry self-regulation occurs through self-regulatory organizations and trade associations, and which allow industry to set and enforce rules with less government involvement. Competent authority in relation to a control import, control export, or control transshipment. So, what is regulatory issue facing Turkey now? First, Turkey currently facing a crisis on public regarding this institution and their ability to respond to current economic problems and challenge. Turkey's public government has fallen into complex changes in alliance politics and the legal framework of political issue. Turkey's political life has indeed caused consideration difficulties unable to reach decisive solutions to difficult problems. Second, Turkey faces the challenge of completing the transition from a static, state-led and rule-bound economy to an innovative and entrepreneurial economy. The benefit and advantage of the market mechanism have not been widely recognized as part of public sector officially. Finally, decentralization among ministers of different political parties makes it more difficult to design and implement coherent policies and coordinate initiatives. Third, Turkey has challenges like inefficiency, transparency, and accountability in public sector. Administrative practice lends towards legality and formalism rather than management based on result and market orientation. Salary increase are not based on performance-related standard, and poor performance will not be subject to sanctions. Incentives are not consistent to encourage good practice. As a result, the attractiveness of the public sector as an employer is declining. Fourth, Turkey lacks a unified and consistent regulatory management framework. Today, the regulatory management system is weak, mainly focused on legal control, and the institutions responsible for this function are mainly dominated by continuous political supervision and intervention. Weak law enforcement mechanisms and practice have led to widespread violations. So what is the recommendation to solve the regulatory issue in Turkey. First, solve the problem of technical barriers to trade, establishing mutual recognitions of certificates or regulations, increasing transparency, promoting good regulatory practice, and seeking compatibility and conference technical regulations through the applications of EU standards. Second, improve transparency by establishing legal requirements for notifications and comments procedures for all ministries, agencies, and independent regulatory agencies during the development and revision of regulation. Mandatory public consultation requirements based on objective standards will greatly improve quality and transparency. Third, board regulatory policy was adopted at the political level to establish clear, objective accountability principles and implementation framework. So the regulatory reform policy should be based on clear principles of good economic, social, and administrative regulation. Fourth, improve the quality of new regulation by implementing step-by-step plan for the impact assessment of regulation based on Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. Best practice recommendations for all new and revised regulations throughout and the administrative department. Most OECD member countries use Registered Investment Advisor (RIA), and the direction of change is generally towards improvement, strengthening, and expanding the use of RIA disciplines. However, in Turkey, RIA has not been introduced yet. And the last one is establish a supervisory technical department to help ministers monitor the progress of regulatory reforms. The department and agency will be responsible for ensuring the quality of the regulations and provide the necessary support to the council minister. So that's all for my part. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Darwis bin Shahril, and I'm going to present about Turkey's currency crisis. Okay, since the early 1990s, there have been several instances of currency crisis in the world. A currency crisis is sometimes can be predictable, and maybe sometimes is can be suddenly to a country. It may be caused by the governments or the investors or central bank or any combinations of factors that can cause the currency crisis in the country. Okay, so in 2018, Turkey's currencies have fell 40% against the US currency. So this show that Turkey currency is not worthy to US currency. US economy is directly exposed to Turkey, but after the crisis happened, the trade or the import-export between these two countries has been affected because the Turkish currency crisis has affected the European banks. As in the table show, the global financial crisis of 2008 and 2009, the rate of advanced economic benefit has been recorded at a low. International investors are increasingly turning to new market in search of higher rates of return on investment. Many investors avoid to doing import-export with Turkey because they cannot gain many profit because currency is very low. But yeah, Okay, next I'm going to present about the economic implications for Turkey. Okay, Turkey currency crisis could create a wave of default across Turkish bank and corporation. The currency crisis make the corporation and the government itself total debt with other countries have become double because they cannot pay the debt. So they have two reasons why they cannot pay the debt. First one is the change in the currency have increased their debt in terms of lira from about 44% of GDP to 80% of GDP. The second one is they're losing the investors' confidence, means that bank and corporations may have trouble to rolling back their money to pay the debt. Okay, if this situation happen, this could create a fiscal problem for Turkish government, as has been shown in the table. Next, I'm going to present about the possible policies responses for Turkish currency problem. Okay. When this crisis happened, Turkish President Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan have appointed Al-Bayrak as Minister of Finance. So when Al-Bayrak get this opportunity or this responsible, he has rejected two other possible policies considerations. Number one is the capital controls, and number two is the financial assistance from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. After doing this, slowly the currency problem have become more okay, more good to Turkey's country. So when Qatar know about this problem, Qatar has awarded $3 billion USD to make a currency exchange with Turkey, because Qatar sees that Turkey's currency crisis has become more stable. Okay, so this has increased the availability of dollar in Turkey. Okay. Next, I'm going to talk about the overview of the whole chapter of this currency crisis. Nowadays, still economy and currency crisis happen in Turkey. So Turkey may access trade and set up low inflation to overcome this situation. The government should take a drastic movement by provide liquidity to private bank, so that private bank can repayment the debt that has been not paid before. So in this case, we can see that central bank and the government play the important role to ensure that the currency problem in Turkey may be settled in the future. So that's all for me. Thank you.
So for my part, I would like to make a conclusion for my group assignment on Turkey. So Turkey is a country that lays between the middle of the Middle East and Europe. So since Turkey lies between these two countries, it has the economic and diplomatic initiative for the rise of the regional organization, because the location has given it a geopolitical and strategic importance since it is near to the Europe and Middle East. So Turkey has some main industry which includes banking, construction, household appliances, electronics, textile, oil refining, petrochemical products, food, mining, iron and steel, and the machinery industry. So in year 2012, Turkey employment rate was 30%. It was the lowest among all OECD countries. So next, I will proceed to the three main export-import challenge of the assignment. So the first one is the language barrier. Since the language barrier is caused by the different culture and religion, and the different culture and religion between the Turkey and the Europe, but the Turkey has some similar culture and religion to the Middle East, so there is a sense of collaboration among the other OIC countries that may strengthen the relationship between this country. And the cooperation is kind of the parameter to boost the economic development, which paves a way for the other serious collaboration. It is also can be used to reduce the restriction or taxes on import and export. So it can also reduce the production cost and its competitive advantages will increase. So for the second main issue is the regulatory issues. For Turkey, the regulatory issues is occur because the tariff problem and the policy problem. Because the tariff and policies are not stable in Turkey, so we suggested a recommendation to solve the regulatory issues, which is to create a formal notice and review processes for all governments, departments, and independent regulatory agencies through regulatory growth and revision. So for the last one, currency crisis. The currency crisis, it means a sharp decrease in currency in Turkey. So for our suggestion, we suggest the government to provide private banks with liquidity, which can invest in short-term debt that requires short-term repayment. So that's all for our group assignment on Turkey's export-import challenges. Thank you so much.